Equality, freedom, and justice for all. That's the theme for this year's United Nations Day. This theme is fitting for the Jamaican society as we celebrate and honor our national heroes throughout October. Our national heroes fought, represented, and even died for the people of Jamaica, sacrifices that today allow us to be free. Let us make a conscious effort to respect, love, support, and provide guidance for each other to help Jamaica become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. It's good to be here with you for this Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your presenter for the next half hour. Don't move a muscle. We have a lineup packed with new and interesting elements waiting for you to see. Stay with us.
Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding. Mosquitoes will breed in any container that holds water.
Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, barrels, buckets and tanks. If this cannot be done, pour cooking oil on the water surface. Punch holes in all tins, plastics and beverage boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover all tires or fill with dirt to prevent water collection. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs. Use mosquito repellents to protect yourself from mosquito bites. Dispose of garbage properly by placing in plastic bags and securing properly to prevent water collection.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, October 24, 2023. The sustainable growth of Jamaica's micro, small and medium-sized enterprise MSME ecosystem is important if the country is to address the concerns of employment and income. That assertion comes from Dr. Nigel Clark, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Data from the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce shows that the MSME sector accounts for approximately 60 to 70% of all jobs. Dr. Clark says that's why attention should be given to these entities.
The ability of the SME ecosystem to spur company formation and to lead to company growth and employment and innovation is critical and crucial to the maintenance of all of the delightful macroeconomic advances that I just described. And the good news is that that's exactly where we are focused in partnership with the IDB.
According to Dr. Clark, over 5,400 companies were formed in Jamaica in 2022. He says there's no year on record in the country's history where so many companies have been formed. Meanwhile, the finance minister is describing the country's new record low unemployment rate as a paradigm shift. The figure now stands at 4.5%. Minister Clark says this is a transformational jump from the double-digit unemployment seen between 1990 and 2015, which spans 25 years. For that period, the unemployment rate averaged 13.9%. Dr. Clark insists that it's the government's policies that have worked to reduce unemployment so significantly.
Through the policies of the administration, inclusive of the innovation ecosystem that we're building, we have transformed that paradigm, and the paradigm that we're in now is a paradigm of single-digit unemployment. In fact, since 2016, notwithstanding COVID, there are only 2 quarters when unemployment has been outside of the single-digit range.
Minister Clark was speaking recently at the opening session of the Sub-Regional Policy Ecosystems of Entrepreneurship and Innovation in the Caribbean region. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, says Jamaica remains on a strong economic growth trajectory with key indicators pointing in the right direction. He singled out a few, including export, which is up year on year by 37%. In addition, debt to GDP is now at 77%, and the country has achieved its best credit rating ever by Standard & Poor of BB-.
Investors both locally and internationally will find, and we're finding Jamaica to be easily the most, listen to me, easily the most attractive investment destination to create jobs, profitable companies, and more tax revenues.
Senator Hill was debating the state of the nation in the upper house earlier this month. According to him, the government is doing a good job in reducing unemployment to an all-time low with the addition of 148,800 new jobs since 2016. This, he indicates, has pulled many Jamaicans into the earning economy. These achievements, among others, will allow the country to access cheaper loan facilities and benefit from savings on debt repayment. This will result in more money to spend on capital projects to help fuel growth. 15 individuals across various fields were recently recognized by the St. James Municipal Corporation for their outstanding contributions to the parish. The awards ceremony was held last week and featured 10 persons receiving the Sam Sharp Award and 5 lauded with the Mayor's Special Award. Recipients of the Sam Sharp Award gave service in the areas of journalism, sports, education, agriculture, and health. They also include outstanding contributions to tourism, community service, national security, industry and commerce, as well as to the field of arts and culture. Meanwhile, the Mayor's Special Awards were swept by Fitzgerald Roach for community service and Gavin Edmond for education. Marcel Biggs, Kenroy Wright, and Desrick Myers were recognized for their heroic acts in rescuing 2 boys who were swept away by floodwaters in June this year. Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Vernon, congratulated the awardees as he called on Jamaicans to reflect on their commitment to nation building.
I encourage our citizens, stakeholders, movers and shakers to support the efforts of our government and your local authority as we endeavor to develop beyond our ambitious dreams, with the baseline being the improvement of our citizens' quality of life. On this mission, none of us is more significant than all of us.
And finally, the Jamaica Festival Song 2023 album is being considered for Grammy nomination. The 11-track album features the winning song Best in the World, performed by Slash, and other well-produced songs delivered by a cadre of notable artists. Minister of Culture and Entertainment Olivia Grange says the album is being reviewed by eligible voting members of the Recording Academy, whose votes will determine the nominees in the reggae category. The nominees will be announced in November. Minister Grange says this is the 3rd year a festival song album is being considered for Grammy nomination since the competition has been reorganized. The minister says she remains optimistic that the 2023 festival song album will be one of the nominees for the coveted Grammy Award. The album is available for streaming and download on several digital music platforms across the world. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Keep on playing. Come, let me take you down to the past.
Alright, first I go so. Alright, need some leaf put in that wax now. I don't know about Uni, you know, but this is my favorite childhood game.
The Prime Minister was up and about last week. Let's now get a recap of all that was covered.
Coming up, Prime Minister Andrew Holness strengthens bilateral relations with Canada.
Canada is, without question, a very important trading partner for the region.
And met with the Canadian diaspora community.
We are building a new Jamaica.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Marjorie Gordon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is among regional heads of state calling for stronger bilateral relations with Canada. Mr. Holness joined the leaders at the Canada-CARICOM Summit held in Ottawa last week under the theme Strategic Partners for a Resilient Future.
From services, including tourism, to energy, agriculture, there is a strong trading and investment relationship between Canada and the CARICOM region. But I think we can all agree that the relationship can be mutually strengthened, and there is much more to leverage than we are presently doing.
A major outcome of the two-day summit is the formation of a strategic partnership between CARICOM and Canada on key areas for development. Jamaica also capitalized on the event with bilateral talks with Canada in the areas of trade and investments, access to finance, and climate resilience. During those talks, Prime Minister Holness also highlighted the need for greater development in transportation logistics and human capital within the region.
Clearly, as our economies develop and move more towards services and technological innovation, on both sides, but particularly within the CARICOM region, greater investments are needed in our human resource development, focusing on STEM and innovation, technology. And I think that this is a great opportunity between Canada and the region to explore how this can be done.
While in Canada, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his team met with members of the diaspora community at a town hall meeting. He updated them on economic growth in the country and answered concerns raised on several issues. Addressing the treatment of Jamaicans on the Canadian Farm Work Program, Mr. Holness indicated that the Minister of Labour would be visiting that country to make further inquiries with authorities. Minister Charles Jr. arrived in Canada on a Sunday. Mr. Holness asserted that if the Farm Work Program was contravening the laws, standards, policies and expectations of both Canada and Jamaica, that would be addressed.
It is a duty of the government, obviously, to take any complaint seriously and to investigate it. We have to work to fix it without prejudice to the people who benefit from the program, meaning the Jamaican farm workers and the Canadian farmers. So I think this is an opportunity to improve the program.
The Prime Minister also spoke to the issue of remote voting in the general election for nationals living abroad.
That is not something that we have contemplated, because even in Jamaica, we don't have remote or online voting. Our laws require you to turn up at that polling station in your constituency and post your vote. Let me not say post your vote, and put your vote in the ballot box physically.
Another concern from Jamaican nationals in Canada was the constitutional reform efforts, including those in the diaspora being able to vote on the referendum for constitutional reform.
As long as you are a Jamaican, you can vote in Jamaica if you are registered to vote. If you hold a Jamaican passport, you're living overseas and you're a resident. If you're a Commonwealth citizen and you're a resident in Jamaica and you register to vote, nobody can stop you. You can vote.
Mr. Holness assured the diaspora that despite challenges, good things were happening in the country's development. He, however, asserted that each Jamaican had a part to play in achieving further growth.
We have to continue to work at it as a people, and we have to expand and deepen and broaden and strengthen our brand, and we individually have to contribute to it. And that you have a government that understands this and is working strategically towards this.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Keep on playing. Come, let me take you down to the past. The 1 year, I'm gonna make you jump like there's no tomorrow. From your ankle to your knee, under your bottom, and your waist. But watch you now, better me show you how it's done.
As we mentioned earlier, today is being observed as United Nations Day. With its primary purpose being to maintain international peace and security, the United Nations proudly recognizes 60 years of partnership with Jamaica.
"77 years of service to humanity, 60 years of partnership with Jamaica, and the continued push towards the full implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs. The United Nations has been working to make the world a better place for all. Recently, Jamaica's United Nations country team, the government, as well as local and international development stakeholders convened in a milestone forum to strengthen and chart new partnership strategies as the island sprints towards effecting Vision 2030 and the SDGs.
The government of Jamaica is pleased to join the international community in observing UN Day. And this morning's flag-raising ceremony is an emotional reminder of that occasion 60 years ago when our first Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, witnessed the hoisting at the United Nations headquarters of the black, green and gold. That very act of raising our flag simultaneously elevated the hopes and aspirations of a small island country entering the global arena with outsized visions for its future.
Since then, Jamaica has played an outstanding role in the United Nations system, helping to call international attention to such significant matters as human rights, decolonization, economic cooperation and indebtedness, and of course, women's issues.
I think we can all agree that the ideologies have always been driven by a desire to chart the best path for Jamaicans and to afford each man, woman, boy, and child the opportunity to achieve their full potential and have sustainable livelihoods.
Of note, too, is Jamaica's strides in social and human capital development, which coincided with improvements in the macroeconomic condition. Among them, the reining in of inflation, credible reductions in unemployment, and a social safety net reform program.
So as we close the curtain on the last 60 years, I think history, once written, will conclude that Jamaica has made notable strides. However, one of my personal guiding principles is to approach every issue from the premise that, as I said, we can do better.
The 60-year playback also tells stories of losses and challenges. And though meandering, it is these challenges that underpin the relevance of the United Nations and its pursuit for partnerships for peace, planet, and prosperity.
The United Nations must remain the space for constructive dialogue and a beacon for sustainable peace, prosperity, and the future of our planet.
Friends, The best way to predict the future is to create it. Time is against us, and we cannot foresee or predict the next big upheaval. However, we can prepare for it by building resilient businesses, institutions, social systems, and economies. Our only limitations lie in a failure to recognize and utilize our limitless creativity and ingenuity.
I think in Jamaica we've constantly spoken about talent and not about business. What I think we need to do is look at business models that are viable. So how do you help creatives to partner with people who can help them create the structures that then become a business? Our focus is export, because you're not going to grow and you're not going to thrive through selling to 3 million people. So you really have to take creative product to the international market.
As we accelerate towards achieving the SDGs, plans are afoot to delve deeper into Jamaica's largely untapped orange economy, as well as increase partnerships in the blue and green economies. These interconnected sectors, with their immeasurable impact, could turn the tide on our economic progress.
Today, notwithstanding our challenges, in that same spirit of optimism, Jamaica reaffirms her commitment to the vision and work of the United Nations and our adherence to the principles of multilateralism, and indeed the place multilateralism holds as a core principle of our foreign policy.
Skip and play. Come, let me take you down to the past.
Known as the wood of life, the lignum vitae is more than just a flower. It represents strength and resilience. Much like the people of Jamaica, we learn more next.
Christopher Columbus saw it here when he came. It means wood of life in Latin. It's world-renowned for its medicinal, ornamental, and industrial properties. But round these parts, it's known as the lignum vitae, the island's national flower.
It is a tree that is native to Jamaica, it's native to Cuba, basically the Greater Antilles and parts of Central America. Its native habitat is pretty much dry, alluvial type plains. It also grows in well-drained limestone areas.
This short, compact tree takes over 100 years to grow up to 30 feet tall. Due to its luminous purple-blue flower, alluring orange-yellow fruit, evergreen foliage, and attractive rounded shape, the tree dots across the Jamaican landscape, shading many houses, streets, and complexes. Since time immemorial, the lignum vitae has been touted as the most useful tree in the world.
It produces a gum, and that gum used to be regarded as highly favored for medicinal uses.
Its body, Gum, bark, fruit, leaves and blossom are used to produce medicine. In colonial times, resin from the tree was used as a mild laxative and as a diuretic. The leaves were used as a remedy for respiratory, inflammatory, congestion, and neurological disorders. Its bark eases pain from sprains, strain, rheumatism, and arthritis. And I'm sure many Jamaican homes still ward off flies with its branches.
Its most noted feature is the wood. Because it's slow growing, it's very, very dense. And that density and the weight of it gives it a number of industrial uses.
That's because the lignum vitae is infused with an oil which makes it waterproof. It's ranked as the world's densest, hardest, and most durable traded wood. In addition to being used for making exquisite furniture, the lignum vitae was used to insulate trolley cars for the rail industry. The wood also made the propeller shaft bearings of most ships back in the day. Lignum vitae wood is also ideal for these creations. The lignum vitae is truly the holy grail of plants.
It's time again for the JIS Heritage Poster Competition. Are you a secondary level student? Design a digitally or illustrated poster on the theme Echoes of Freedom, tracing Jamaica's path from colonialism to republic. Let's see your best design. Lots of prizes to be won. Visit jis.gov.jm for competition guidelines. Registration is now open and closes October 31. The JIS Heritage Poster Competition 2023. Enter today.
Time waits for no one. If we focus on the past, we can lose sight of the valuable gifts of the present. But that does not mean we shouldn't cherish those precious memories that helped to make us who we are today. This is where our program ends today. We here at the GIS hope you enjoyed every moment of it. Please do join us again tomorrow when we'll have a lot more knowledge to impart. And of course, don't forget you may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to catch up on this show and much more. I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.